Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Please let me know when to start.
We will wait for 2-3 minutes, ma'am. Our students are joining.
So now can we start?
Yeah, ma'am.
So good afternoon to the students of Kripanidhi. I'm Dr. Anita Walia. Presently, I'm the director of MOOCs in Jain University, and also I have experience of 15 years in teaching and around 10 years in corporate. I worked in ITC Infotech and Wipro as a software developer. And then I joined the Educational Institute. And my expertise lies in AI, e-commerce, web development, cybersecurity, and all. I'm also associated with IIM Bangalore, where I'm a visiting faculty for the entrepreneur course for where I've collaborated with the NSCRAL cell for entrepreneurship. Apart from that, I'm also involved in the government projects, like, for example, the QNX consultancy is one of it. I'm also involved in one of the panel in NEP by UGC. So these are a few things which I wanted to talk to you about myself. And so let's start. I was told the profile of the students who are joining this course. And from that profile, I got to know that you're all undergraduate students who are doing BCA. Most of you, I think all of you. And also you have taken the course of AI with Python. Now the students, basically, you are learning Python and machine learning basically in an offline mode. And the role of us coming to you is to give you a connection with what you're learning with the corporate world. So we are trying to bridge the gap between the theory which you are learning with the kind of application which is real-time based application in the corporate world. So this is what we are going to play the role in taking you through those kinds of cases. So what I can do is today I have taken a liberty to um, just according to my understanding come up with some kind of case study which will be a little interesting, not so difficult to understand. And at the same time, you understand how the companies are using AI and how they are deploying AI to come out with business solution, whether it is in healthcare industry, whether it is in manufacturing or is in service industry, any kind of industry. How do we see these? So we will focus on some real cases, and I will take to the website of those cases. First, I'll show you through PPT, and then I'll take you to those. So I think that is fine. Anytime in between, the students can ask questions in the chat, which I will keep on looking at. And if you have any query, you can question me there. And also, students, I would like you to tell me if you would like to see you're already learning AI with machine learning. So if you wish to learn some other technology, like for example, metaverse or cybersecurity, okay, something like that, maybe we can discuss that also, or maybe blockchain or anything related to IoT, cloud computing. So we cannot today say that, okay, if we are expertised in AI, nobody is expertised, not even me, not even you, not even your teachers. Everybody has, we are just a drop in the ocean. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you is if there is any kind of project you want to initiate, because see, I basically believe that whatever the student learn, they should be able to apply that. Like how Stanford University, MIT, Harvard, all these are standing apart. Why do people aspire to go there? The only difference between them and us is that they basically teach through application, where the students are supposed to come up with project. And now in India also we have universities applying that. Almost all the universities, Central University, deemed to be university or deemed university, or maybe state university is using something, and we are using in our university something called project-centric learning, where from the first day, the first semester of semester, we in any kind of a field, whatever the courses the students have taken, we encourage them to come out with a new, either it's a management student, it's a new business idea or a new product, new service or new process, come out with some publication or come out and go to the stage of patent. Okay, you can go to the stage of copyright or whatever it is. If it's a creative work, you can go for anything. So that's how we I also encourage you in this session that if you need any help or if you want me to guide you on those part, because I'm associated with IIM Bangalore in that, where we are helping students to come out whatever idea they have to bring it into reality by mentorship, by so many processes. Okay, so let's start today. So as I said that today the agenda of my session is certain cases which will tell you that how companies are using AI, powered solution for business problems, and what are these things which are happening around the world, and who are the companies who are doing that. And the first half of the session will be on cases. The second half of the session, if I get a time, I will go on AI tools, because we talk a lot, especially the student community talk a lot about generative AI, like for example, Chat GPT and all. But how these suddenly there is an evolution of so many AI powered tools, which is not only helping in content writing, not only helping in doing even developers' job. So many things they are doing it. So I may go through that if the time permits. So I think we are set to go. Let's start. So I'm just trying to share my PowerPoint presentation. Anytime, any question is there in your mind, please ask through through chat. Oh, sorry, we are talking the language of AI. Okay. So just give me a few seconds. I hope you can see the screen now. Okay. So let's start, students. So let's look into some of the application or practical cases of applied AI. So the first case which I'm going to take today this is a recent case, and this is a very unique case. So I thought I can start my session with that. So this case answers a question which a long time back was predicted by the father of AI, Alan Turing. And he said the computer would deserve to be called intelligent if it could deceive a human into believing that it was human. And the funny fact is always that today the computer is asking us, prove that you are a human. And we, put a tick on that and we ourselves say, yes, we are human. So there's a question mark in everybody's mind. Are we really human? So the question which comes and the question which was solved in this particular case is about, can AI help in protecting endangered species? So how can AI be used to track and protect endangered wildlife? So there's a company which is called SAS Vidya, and this particular company develop AI solution. And then there is a voluntary and organization, Wild Track, and they are the people who were working for the cause. And the cause was to save and protect endangered wildlife in African landscape. So they wanted to understand how AI can help them in monitoring and tracking these endangered species and help them in saving them. So so they wanted to ask this question, and the company SAS Vidya came forward and said, yes, we can help in tracking and we can help in monitoring these endangered species, especially cheetah, by looking at their footprint. Now the question comes in the mind: footprint of an animal. From the footprint, can you understand or can you interpret whose footprint, which animal footprint is it? Can you classify the animal further then? Like classification happens in whether it is a cheetah or it's a deer or something. Let's say you identify this is this particular animal. Can you go further classification, like whether it is a male or female? And what is the age? And how many are there from the footprint? Is it possible to do that? So from the footprint, can you understand who are these species of animal? Where are they going? How many are left? And how do you do that? Especially so that this particular case study talked about the endangered species like cheetah, and they wanted to find out a solution for that. So the company used AI to recreate something which normally indigenous animal tracking does. So who are these indigenous animal trackers? Indigenous animal trackers are tribal people who live in this forest. These are the trackers who are not educated. They are tribal people, but they have an expertise knowledge to just look at the footprint and tell whether this is a cheetah or this is somebody else, footprint. They can also go to an extent and tell that whether it's a male or female. They can also tell how many number and where they have gone. They have developed this expertise from their experience, the experience of living in that forest, experience of living with those animals. Now, AI basically work with two things. One is data set, which you should have a proper and wider data set and the accurate data set. And the second very important part is the expert knowledge. So if you have a data set and you have an expert knowledge, you can train the AI model to do something which you want the AI, like for example, prediction. So how to identify footprint and classify based on footprint which animal and what's the gender of the animal and how many are left was a very tedious task for this particular company called SAS. So they wanted to do this. So what they did, they collected. The one thing was they have to collect the data. That is the image data of all the footprints of cheetah. And they need to get varieties of data set. That means a huge data set from all the angles, the footprints variation. And the second challenge was to build the expert knowledge base of these indigenous trackers who are tribal and build a knowledge base and use the data set to classify and predict whether these are which animal footprint and how many are left and where they are going. So basically it helps them in tracking and monitoring and also understanding and protecting them. So this was something which basically was done. So I'm going to just now stop here and take you to the website and show you through the website of the company that how the company has generated the AI solution by collecting the images, which is an image data of the footprint. They not only collected the footprint of cheetah in African, that region, but they also did something called crowdsourcing, where they asked people from all over the world to send them the photograph of the cheetah's footprint, telling them the cost, because there are a lot of wildlife photographers who will work for this cause. And they collected all kinds of images of data, all possible kinds, and they use those data to train the AI model with the help of data set and the expert knowledge to come out with the solution. And they were successful. So I'm just going to go to their website. Okay. Just give me a few seconds. I'll share the screen. Okay. So can you all see? So I've taken you to the company's website. So if you want, you can make a note of this site. It's SAS. They have a lot of other cases also of how they have built AI solution for many other problems. But this particular case was very interesting. So I thought I will discuss about this case with you. So the question which I said, or the problem statement is, can artificial intelligence help protecting these animals from extinction? And the animal here is cheetah. So they said that answer lying in footprints. I'll just play this video for you.
My name is Lisa. I like living in Namibia because Namibia is beautiful. There are all the animals and plants. There are some people who want to kill animals like the lions and cheetahs. I like to teach them. There are not many left.
Hundred years ago, we had somewhere in the region of 100,000 cheetahs in the world. Today, the number stands at just 7,100. And these are flagship species. As they disappear, they represent the disappearance of a huge chunk of the biodiversity that goes with them.
Biodiversity is what supports all the things that we need as humans, and yet it's disappearing much faster than any of us realize. One way that we've started approaching monitoring of endangered species is to look at their footprints. Yeah, look, I think we've got something here.
So you can see in this video that they are trying to collect the video. And if you see this man, he is a tribal person who's called the indigenous tracker. They are the people who stay in this village, in this forest area, and they can identify just looking at the footprint that what animal it is, and they can classify further that whether what is the gender and where they are going and how many are there.
That's cheetah, definitely. We've learned from working with indigenous trackers over many years in Africa that we can use footprints to identify species, age class, individuals, and sex. Do you have any thoughts about whether it's male or female? What do you think?
It's not so big. Right. It means that it's a female. Right.
So it's interesting that our algorithm is picking up some of the things that you're doing in your mind, right?
We came up with a mathematical model, and this is where SAS comes in, starting with importing images, and then we use those to derive the metrics, which then allows us to do the analysis.
We're depending on data and analytics to protect these animals, and now we're beginning crowdsourcing from around the world. So ordinary people who wouldn't necessarily be able to dart a rhino, but they can take an image of a footprint. We've got data coming in from everywhere, too many data for us to manage traditionally, and that's really where artificial intelligence comes in.
The big question is, can artificial intelligence do what indigenous trackers can do?
When we see an indigenous...
So you saw till now that they are trying to build a mathematical model or an algorithm based on mathematical model, which can do the work of indigenous tracker. Can they replicate the, the expertise of the indigenous tracker through the data set which they are collecting?
Indigenous tracker, look at a footprint. We realize there's a huge gulf between that and what machine intelligence is currently able to do. It's just millions of years of evolution that's allowed us to be able to identify these patterns. And it's a big challenge in image processing.
Yeah. Identifying footprints is a very tedious process to be able to sort and classify them. So to be able to take that one task that's a repetitive task and automate it seemed like a natural fit for an AI solution. And it required a lot of expertise and insight from Zoe and Sky to help us train the computer to categorize the footprints the same way a human tracker would.
So essentially what the heat map is attempting to do is to pick up those edges.
This heat map is kind of visualizing what our deep learning model is looking at and just thinking that part of images is important to distinguish it's a cheetah print or a tiger print.
The red section is a bit that's actually standing out as representing the footprint.
Yeah, because we are predicting the footprint. So we overlay.
Getting 100% accuracy in this project is very challenging, but we'll get there. For this one, we need more data. We need more scientists to contribute to this project so that we can really solve this problem.
I'm excited about the potential of artificial intelligence because I think that one of the hugest challenges we face is how to protect our planet, our ecosystem. And the way that we can solve this is by bringing in data from all parts of the world in a hugely magnified scale, much, much more than we have at the present. These data have incredible value in conservation. If we don't know where the animals are and how many there are, we can't begin to do things like working out where animals should be protected, looking at animal-human conflict. These are all global conservation questions that conservation biologists all over the world need answers to.
I think we exist in a world today trying to use artificial intelligence. And our challenge is how to harness this in order to answer some of the most fundamental questions and create an environment where there's room for us and all the rest of the species in this world.
Okay. So you could see that this video showed you how they are basically using. So the same thing what I was trying to tell you, that if you see, these are the footprints pictures which they have gathered, and not only from African continent they have gathered, they also got the data through crowdsourcing. And this basically tell them that where are these people going, how many are left. So artificial intelligence is helping them to recreate some of the skills which these indigenous trackers have. That means building those expertise knowledge which this indigenous tracker has to identify the animal and also tell various information just from the footprint. So can they build a system? So the WildTrack researchers, basically the SAS employees, start with the WildTrack is an organization which is basically giving this project to the SAS And the SaaS company is working on this. And they started with, so they started extracting, collecting a lot of data, the footprints, images, and trying to use the expertise, knowledge of indigenous tracker to identify the footprint image, to identify a pattern in that, and apply the concept and do the classification or whatever clustering and all what we do in AI. So some of these, so that is how the AI powered by the human mind expertise, which we call footprint, they came up with a technology called FIT, footprint identification technique. So it's a kind of a tool for a non-invasive monitoring of endangered species. And today, this tool is highly used. This tool is based on image, which are analyzed using mathematical models by developing an AI algorithm and training the AI model through that, and which helps any particular, forest department to identify the species, their sex, their age, and how many are there, where they are, all these kinds of complete story, a single footprint can tell. So that's the power of AI, students, which I wanted to tell you. So you can see here, these are some statistics over here. You can go to this website and you can find other interesting cases also. I just took this case and you can see here, they have given the statistic, they have given the entire way how they have collected the data. As I said, it was a crowdsourcing method to collect all the kind of data. And so please go through this website. I just gave you a snapshot of it. You can go to the website and you can check other project, other cases also on this website. Okay. So this is the first case. Anybody, any questions? If anybody has a question, please put in the chat. Okay, fine. So now, so again, I will go back to the second case. So let me go through the other cases also so that we can understand. Most of these cases, I will take you to the company website itself. And then we can check from the website that how, and if you want, you can just go detail into it and you can study as a student, you should be doing that. I'm just touching the tip of the case. Just give me a few seconds. Okay. So we did this case. Now we will move to the next interesting case. Again, this is a particular case study, which was the research which was done by Google. You know that Google is one of the company which has advanced a lot and created a lot of success story in terms of developing a lot of AI business solution, AI powered business solution. So one of the cases which I found very interesting was a lung cancer. So we're going to discuss few cases now on healthcare industry, that how AI has helped in healthcare industry by taking some example of the company. So lung cancer basically has a high rate of mortality among all cancers. So there was a study which was done in 2018, where they estimated that every year in US, there are more than 160,000 deaths accounted only for lung cancers. So the one of the reason why why the mortality rate is so high is because the early diagnosis or detection of this particular lung cancer is very, very difficult. Because initially when you have a symptom of lung cancer, it will be exactly like a symptom of a cold and cough, or maybe a congestion or something like that. So also the study has shown that early detection of this particular cancer can reduce the mortality by 20 to 43%. That's why the medical guideline now says that we should use a low dose CT imaging, which is a test to diagnose lung cancer screening, and come out with the accuracy level. Because when we do some test or diagnostic in the health related element, we basically come out with the results, and these results can be sometimes false positive or false negative. False positive means that you don't have lung cancer, for example, in this case, but it says it is there. False negative means you have lung cancer, but the radiologist claim that you don't have it. So those kinds of error comes by the radiologist. So this is what is a challenge in this particular case. The challenge in the case of diagnosing lung cancer is that the radiologists, who are the people who basically analyze the scanning report and come to a conclusion whether there is a presence of lung cancer cell in the lung or not, they are prone to erroneous conclusion. There are a lot of error. And the second channel is there is a significant variability in the skill level. And also finding the trained expertise or radiologists in the US was a challenge at that time in 2018. So the shortage of trained radiologists exceeded in many, many imaging centers. And because of that, most of the imaging centers used to outsource. So in 2019, the scientists at Northwestern University and Google company co-authored a paper. That paper was published in a book called Nature Medicine. And it has a result of test with an artificial intelligence. How do we use artificial intelligence system to read low dose CT images, which is in 2D format. So the scientists also compared the accuracy of the AI system, which can diagnose and which can combine the expertise of 6 radiologists together. That was the kind of power they want to build with AI tools. Okay, so and this is the leading example of application of AI to computer vision. So in certain cases, you have both the recent scan and also the past scan, and that is compared by the radiologist. The way the radiologist compare, that is there any difference between the past lung scan and the recent? Similarly, the AI system perform similar job and try to compare between the past lung scan and the recent scan. So now with this, what has happened is the AI now can perform a job much better than an expert radiologist. As I said that it can, when the 6 expert radiologists come together and come with a similar conclusion, that kind of power the AI solution has built. Also, it has outperformed the human expertise in understanding and interpreting the recent scan and comparing with the last or the previous scan. AI also created fewer false negative. That means incorrectly, concluding that it is absence, where there's the cancer was there in the patient. Okay. Now, how it has done it? So basically what happens is the source of AI, the first system is to overcome certain kind of constraint which a human vision has. And that constraint is that human vision or human eye can look at only 2D image sliced on screen. I'll just take you to the Google website and show you this. But the AI can look into that and convert that into 3D and even go to an extent of creating a 4D image and look at that 3D or 4D vision as a 4th dimension and come out with a greater computational power system to analyze each and every pixel. Because when you convert a 2D image into 3D or 4D, you can analyze each pixels of the picture. And with those, you can combine those pixels and understand, which radiologist can't understand by looking at 2D images. So when you pixelate the entire picture, you can actually see the tiniest granule, which can be a sign of a lung cancer, which cannot be seen in 2D. So that is how the AI was trained on a subset of cases based on scan and various other kinds of reports. These expertise knowledge base was coded into system to train the AI model to do the prediction of absence and presence of cancer. So it was not doing a trial and error method just like any other people will do. So this is how the CT scan was utilized by the AI, powered solution to come up with a better solution. And this has enhanced the prediction of lung cancer at a very early stage, which is actually very difficult to do, by 67%. So let me take you to the website now. Okay. Just give me a second. Stop sharing this. Just give me a second. I'll go to the website first. So I opened this blog of Google where this project is shared. And I will also, give you in the chat the URL of this. You can go through it and you can find out. Give me a few seconds. Yes. It's good. Okay. Can you all see? Can anybody tell me? Can see this screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So the screen, if you can see, this is the case study, or this is the article which was published with all the details over here. You can see the promising step forwarding for predicting lung cancer using AI. So all whatever I have told you that what was the problem faced initially for how the AI has created a chance to for the survival of many people who are suffering from lung cancer by early diagnosing the lung cancer. So this is a book which I was telling you about, Nature Medicine. So this was published in that. We can see here. So this is the image, So if you can see here, this is a scan report. Just give me a second. So you can see that. So this is a scan report. And if you see here in the scan report, the 2D scanning report, how it is converted into 3D image and how the AI model was trained to pixelate it, the 2D scan image into 3D and 4D, and use the expertise knowledge to identify the likelihood of having a cancer on it. So you can see that how it is doing it. So this is how the image was scanned and used for predicting the chances of having cancer on it. And you can see this also. So this is the initial scan with AI detection. So now you can see that the images are in the 4D form. And this image basically tried to evaluate a single pixel or the granule in the scanning and help in identifying if there is a presence. So you can see that this white lump says that there is a cancer which is present. We can go through this. There is a lot of story on this, and the entire case study is presented with all kind of how they have done, what kind of tools they have used, and what mathematical model they have used. Everything is there in this. I'm just going to put that in the chat. Okay, so those who are interested, please go through this case. Now let's go to the other case now. Any questions so far, students? Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to share my PPT again. So now, this case I have discussed with you, all these cases. Let me go to the other cases in healthcare industry. So we've used the technology of deep learning, also the subdomain of AI in this case. Now, there's one more case which is really interesting. So there's a company called Coty, okay? There's a Dutch company called Danish, okay? Not Coty. Coty is an app which they have developed. So this Dutch startup company created an AI software called Coty, and they wanted to test the deep learning program by having a computer eavesdrop while human are calling some emergency number. Like for example, when you're calling an emergency number and you try to ask that what kind of first aid service you can get, because you assume that a person is suffering from heart attack and you have no idea whether what has happened, and before they reach the hospital you want to make sure that the person survives and what kind of first aid you can give. So in that case, this particular AI will look into your call and will analyze what a person says. Also, it will analyze the tone of the voice, the background noise, and also try to detect whether there is a cardiac arrest possibility from the tone and from the information you are giving. I'll just show you practically how it works. So, and the accuracy rate till now is 93%. Compared to 73% of human being, when you call a human being and they ask you, okay, do you think this is happening, that is happening, and you give the answer, and he can predict. So accuracy rate in human prediction, whether the person who is, whether the person is the patient who is supposed to come to the hospital, may need a heart attack, first aid or not. So that is one thing. So they announced this result and they use a deep learning algorithm basically, which basically outperformed the human by identifying. There was also a case on breast cancer. You can look into that. The same company has developed that solution also. So this particular app was approved by National Health Services. And they said that because this is helping a lot in saving people life, so this can be used, because medical apps need to go through some kind of approval system from a regulatory body. So I'll take you to the site. Okay, can you see? Can anybody tell me?
Yes, ma'am.
So you can see this article, which is a case study on AI can help an emergency responder diagnosing a heart attack from a caller tone of voice and from the information they ask and the right questions they ask. It's all about asking right questions because you have very less time and you can't waste time by asking unnecessary questions. So this particular app help in diagnosing heart attack and give yeah, a kind of a suggestion for first aid before the patient could reach and get a medical help. So this is called COTI, CORTI, and I'm just going to show you that how the COTI work. So there is an example of that. I'll just go through this.
911, what is your emergency?
I need help. I need an ambulance. Hey, Dad, what happened? Dad?
Can you please verify your name and address and tell me what happened?
Yes, I'm Annie Robinson. We're at 1450 Bay Street, San Francisco. My dad was installing kitchen cabinets and I think he knocked his head or something. I just heard a bump and then he fell. I can't get him up and he's not being responsive.
See that while the patient is giving the address and all, the chat, the app has already identified the location from whatever the person has told in panicking situation, and also identified that when the ambulance is going to reach. And then in between the time, how she can help, or the, sorry, I'm saying she, how the app or the intelligent chatbot can help the person to give a first aid to this patient.
Dad, are you okay? Oh my God, I think his head is bleeding.
All right, give me one moment. Okay, an ambulance has just been dispatched and it's on its way to you right now. They'll arrive in 4 minutes. And while we wait, can you tell me if your dad is conscious?
Yes, I think so. Actually, no, I'm not sure. I can't tell. His eyes are open, but his face looks all weird. I guess he's conscious. I don't know.
Okay, hold on. All right, we need to make sure that aside from hitting his head, there's nothing else wrong with your dad. Does he seem to be breathing properly?
No, actually, I don't think he's breathing right, but maybe he's just disoriented. I don't know.
Okay, Annie, this is important. He may be suffering a cardiac arrest. So if you're not sure, I'm going to walk you through how to check his breathing.
Oh my God, I thought he just fell. Is he having a heart attack?
It's okay, you can do this. Listen to me and stay calm. Can you make sure that he's lying flat on the ground and that he does not have any vomit, food in his mouth?
Okay, yes. Hold on. I'm just gonna put you on speaker. Hold on 1 sec, okay?
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready. No, there's nothing in his mouth.
Great. Now place your one hand on his forehead and your other hand under his neck. Tilt his head back and put your ear next to his mouth. Can you feel or hear any breathing?
No. Oh my God, I don't think he's breathing.
Okay, once again, stay calm. Stay with me.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Oh, weird. I guess he's conscious. I don't know.
Okay, hold on. All right, we need to make sure that aside from hitting his head, there's nothing else wrong with your dad. Does he seem to be breathing properly?
No, actually, I don't think he's breathing right, but maybe he's just disoriented. I don't know.
Okay, Annie, this is important. He may be suffering a cardiac arrest. So if you're not sure, I'm going to walk you through how to check his breathing.
Oh my God, I thought he just fell into his head. Is he having a heart attack? Then what do I do?
It's okay, you can do this. Listen to me and stay calm. Can you make sure that he's lying flat on the ground and that he does not have any vomit, food in his mouth?
Okay, yes. Hold on. I'm just gonna put you on speaker. Hold on 1 sec, okay?
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready. No, there's nothing in his mouth.
Great. Now place your one hand on his forehead and your other hand under his neck. Tilt his head back and put your ear next to his mouth. Can you feel or hear any breathing?
No. No, oh my God, I don't think he's breathing.
Okay, once again, stay calm. Stay with me.
Okay. So this is how this. Now, what was the result of this? The result, if you can see in the website, they claim that they have saved 1.5 million heart attack, and you can go to the link and you can actually get the statistic of that. And they have given a statistic about how many people suffer, and also they have given a statistic about how many lives they have saved through this. And it's a free app. It's not like that it's you are charged on this. So this is one of the example students which I wanted to tell. So far so good. Is there any questions, students? No? Okay. Let's take some more example now. So I'll just share the PPT again. So let's now go to the other case and see the application. So this is now, as I was telling you students that how are we different from the students who are studying in Stanford or MIT or Harvard or Kellogg's or any other big premium, colleges and even IITs in India. We are different because they are learning through projects. And one of the best examples which I could give you is this, where the Stanford students came out with one solution to help some students who come to the university who are blind. And they identified a problem. Actually, there were a group of students who had one friend who was blind. And they always found that this person, when he came, when he used to come to the campus is huge. He had a trouble in, finding places. He need assistance. And at the same time, he always, fall prey to injuries. He will bump into walls, he will, fall from the stairs and all these kinds. So they thought that while they were, all these students have to do some project. So they said, why don't we come out with a solution for this problem, where we can help blind people walk without assistance or without the help of, like in US, what happens normally when you, sorry.
The goal is to help improve.
So normally in US, people take the help of dogs also. So there, basically the objective of these students was to come out with a solution with inbuilt integrated technology of sensors like IoT or GPS, along with cameras, along with AI. So the input comes from sensors and the cameras and the GPS. And this particular input was used by the AI-powered, solution to come out with giving a proper direction to the blind person. So let's see how they have done this.
The goal is to help improve the ability of people with visual impairments to navigate and steer around obstacles, making everyday life easier.
We've developed a device which extends the abilities of the white cane by adding sensors to help perceive the environment and then relay that information to the user. Standard cane is basically a stick. I mean, it really is a stick. The most recent innovation that I know of is that some of them fold like this one does. But Patrick's new cane, there are sensors that detect obstacles in the user's environment. So as I'm walking, it'll detect that there's, let's say, a lamppost or a corner or a trash can or something that I'm about to bump into, and it'll sort of nudge me away from it as I start to approach it. We have a LiDAR, which measures distance to the object around the person. We have GPS, which measures the position in the outdoor setting. We have an inertial measurement unit, which allows us to measure the position and orientation of the person. And then we have a camera, which allows us to understand images of where they are, and so we can define key objects.
The wheel essentially kind of pulls the user left or right. So if the system says, okay, the user needs to navigate to the right, they need to turn right, the wheel will start spinning to the right. And you'll feel it as if someone's pulling you in that direction.
For sighted individuals, after about 5 minutes of training, they found a 38% improvement in terms of walking speed. For much more experienced users, for visually impaired individuals, they found a 18% improvement in terms of walking speed. And this can provide a significant improvement in terms of their quality of life due to improved mobility.
This project leverages sensors developed for autonomous vehicles and also AI and algorithms developed for safe vehicle driving.
And it's really neat to be able to see ideas from this industry percolate to other domains, including the creation of this walking gait.
We published it open source so that other people can build the system and make it available. I think it has the potential to make people's lives a lot easier.
I see the improved cane as like a really nice step forward. I think it could be a much improved experience, especially for navigating environments that I'm less familiar with. It'd be really helpful.
Okay. Now, the next case today, I'm actually trying to focus today on healthcare industry, because we know that healthcare industry is the one which is widely using AI, and the scope is also very high in that. So now let's take an example of something which all of us, have suffered from, and that was COVID-19 and the coronavirus. So how a particular company, the name of the company, the AI company, collaborated with pharmaceutical companies and came out with a vaccine. And not only they came out with a vaccine, but they deployed AI massively to accelerate the development of vaccine. So we all know that this particular virus, coronavirus, has come and was basically known by the people by 11th January 2020, and by February 24, within the 44 days, Moderna, which is one AI company, IT company, created a batch of vaccine with the help of AI, with the help of AI and in collaboration with certain pharmaceutical company. But the question comes that why this particular vaccine has not come out and why this was not, approved. The main question was that this particular vaccine, when it came out, it took so many months to get clearance and approval, because a particular vaccine has to go through certain stage, like for example, clinical trial, human trial, so many things are there. And this particular company is in US, and US FDA finally, after 1.5 years of clinical and human trial, successfully approved this vaccine. Now, this particular company is in Cambridge, and it's the world's first digital biotech company, okay? Just like Biocon in India, in Bangalore. So Moderna is the first digital biocon company in US and also in the world. And they came up with a solution for dealing with coronavirus. How? They basically did a study, and a lot of scientists were doing a study, medical professionals were doing a study, trying to understand the virus. And ultimately, they could understand the structure of the virus, which was very totally new. And the structure of the virus was that this particular virus has a shell which was made of certain kind of protein. And the virus, unlike any other virus, could survive for many, many days. See, the virus always have an ability to produce multiple viruses when they go into the body. One virus will enter, and it will multiple viruses will be created by that particular virus. And this particular coronavirus has an ability to survive for many days, because of the protein shell which was safeguarding this particular virus. And the solution is to break this protein shell. And when you break this protein shell, what happens? It became sterilized, and you can sterilize this virus, and this virus is inactive. It won't further produce, it won't die, but it won't further produce any other virus of similar nature. And ultimately, it is going to die after some time. The life cycle or the lifespan is too less if you remove the protein shell. Now, they try to understand the human body. We all know that our human body produces antigen, or our immunity system try to produce a kind of antibodies which can deal with virus. Because this is a new kind of a virus with a new molecular structure, so the body would not recognize this as a harm or as an enemy and will not produce any antibody to fight back. So what these scientists did, they uses a phenomena or the procedure which our human body does, which is called mRNA. So within a human body, mRNA, which is also called messenger RNA, molecules are produced by our cell. And this is a particular kind of a RNA, which is called messenger RNA, which the purpose or the role of this RNA is to carry instruction to ribosome, the body protein factory. And the ribosome basically then start producing certain types of protein. Different kinds of proteins are there. And different instructions are carried out by mRNA to ribosome cell and tell what kind of protein it should produce. Then it start producing that. So it's like a code. It carry a code in USB and give it to the the ribosome, and ribosome follow this code and produce a kind of a protein. This is how in our body we have natural mRNA working. What Moderna did, they figured out how to create synthetic mRNA. Okay? So they figured out how to create a synthetic mRNA outside the body and insert them inside a fatty substance made from lipid nanoprotein and inject it in our body, ribosome, via injection or via serum. This ribosome will take an instruction from this mRNA and start producing a specific kind of protein. And this protein will work on the coronavirus and try to break the protein wall of coronavirus. And in this way, they can make this coronavirus inactive. That was a kind of solution. And also, I'll show you a video where it will show. So this particular company created, they also used the AWS cloud computing platform for the digital infrastructure. They collected all kind of database research, clinical operational, all kinds of processes, and connected the database via IoT and come out with the AI solution. So I'm just going to show you that how the company has developed this particular AI, deployed the AI to develop mRNA to deal with this particular kind of virus. Okay, so just show you that.
The US authorization of 2 COVID-19 vaccines marked a turning point in the pandemic and vaccine science. These vaccines use messenger RNA, or mRNA, to deliver immunity. mRNA are short strands of instructions used to build proteins. It's impossible for these mRNA vaccines to alter our DNA in any way. Although that technology has been in development for decades, mRNA vaccines hadn't made it to market until now. There are a few ways to make a vaccine. Most use a version of the pathogen they are trying to protect you against, like the flu or measles, to trigger an immune response. You can think of vaccines like a biological wanted booster. They show our bodies how to recognize the enemy, an antigen, such as a harmful virus or bacteria, so we know how to react if it ever shows up. Our bodies will be prepared to send T cells to attack infected cells, and B cells to produce antibodies, which neutralize the virus and prevent it from invading healthy cells. mRNA vaccines use innovative technology to deliver protection. If traditional vaccines deliver wanted posters, these vaccines carry USB drives with instructions that tell our cellular machinery how to print its own poster. In other words, they instruct the body to make its own antigens. In the case of the coronavirus, the antigen is the infamous spike protein that attaches to and infects your cells. These vaccines use mRNA, a molecule that our cells need to create any type of protein to introduce us to that spike. To start,
Researchers isolated the part of the coronavirus's genetic sequence that codes for the spike protein. Then they put an mRNA molecule containing the code into a super tiny drug delivery system known as a lipid nanoparticle, which can enter our cells. Inside the cell, ribosomes use the code to create a protein chain that resembles the enemy, the coronavirus's spike protein. Those cells can then temporarily display a lookalike of that protein, which prompts our immune cells to respond as if it were an antigen from a traditional vaccine.
Okay. So students, we have seen that how AI was deployed to create a synthetic mRNA and do the same function what normally the natural mRNA does in our body.
The US.
Okay. Now, the other case study which I want to tell you, maybe you might have known about it, are going to, and this is very popular, becoming very popular even in Bangalore or entire India, and that's called robot-assisted, robot-assisted, surgery is called Da Vinci surgery. So Da Vinci, you have heard it's associated with art or creative work. So the Da Vinci surgery is going to become a huge success in near future, in a decade or two. It's already becoming, many hospitals are using Da Vinci surgery to operate people, do complex surgeries. And so Da Vinci surgery system is the world's most advanced robotic system. And it does something which we say minimum invasive surgery. Now, what is minimum invasive surgery? Minimum invasive surgery means that you do a very small cut. In this, there is a minimum loss of blood, better recovery. Now, if you have to operate a particular organ, the human surgeon will do what? They will do a big incision, right? And because they have to look into the organ, they have to hold the organ, or they have to use their hand to, stitch or remove certain things from the organ and operate. But in Da Vinci surgery, you can make a hole which looks like a pinhole, and you can do the entire surgery using that. So that is one of the major advantage of that. Da Vinci surgery also is called precision surgery. And it is in the sense that robotic system expand the surgeon capability. So surgeon is there. It's not like that the surgeon is not there in the operating system. But the surgeon is not operating. If you can see this particular picture, you can see the surgeon is sitting in the console and controlling, and he can see whatever is happening. And there are these robotic surgery arms, which are basically doing all kinds of operation. And anything, whatever is happening, is controlled by this physical surgeon. But the actual operation is done by the robot. The benefit is that the one or minimum invasive surgery, what you do, allow you to do only 1 to 2 centimeter long incision, which results in less trauma, faster healing, less blood loss, and shorter hospital stay, as compared to the open surgery normally, which normally the human surgeon do. So the benefit is huge, but there is a high upfront investment by the hospital. So that's also one of the challenge. But big hospitals like Apollo, Manipal, all of them are using Da Vinci surgery now. And also the cost of doing Da Vinci surgery is also very high. So if you're going for that, it will be very high. So, and also you need to train the surgeon on the system. So economically, these systems are becoming viable for big hospitals because they are doing a lot of surgery, large number of surgery every year. And whatever is the cost of training and acquiring this particular system and the maintenance of the system is covered through that. And they give a choice to the patient, telling them all the advantage and disadvantage, and let the patient take, if they can afford this kind of surgery, they can go ahead and go for this particular surgery. Now, what this particular system do? The system is used for a wide range of surgeries, including cardiac, urologic, gynecologic, pediatric, and also general surgery. So it is estimated that the 3/4 of prostate cancer surgery in the United States is currently done with the help of Da Vinci robots or surgery. So let us see how this particular system works. The most popular model of Da Vinci system is that it uses basically two parts. And this two parts are basic. One is the section, which is a robotic tower with 4 arms, which you can see here. There are 4 arms, right? And 3 of this will hold the various surgical instrument, like for cutting and for stitching and all these kinds. The 4th one will hold a 3D high definition camera. So when you do a very few centimeter cut in the body, not an open surgery, and one arm insert the camera into that, and the other arm through the camera can, and even the surgeon can through the camera see the entire organ and monitor or guide the surgery arm to do the surgery. So this is one thing. This is the one part of it. The second section is a console where you can see the surgeon is sitting, is operating the robot arms. So the entire operation of this robotic arm is done. So they have a gaming console kind of a thing, okay, which they hold, and they try to control the surgeon, the robotic arms. They also look through a stereoscopic monitor, if you can see here. An additional video screen is also there, which you can see there's one more screen over here. And the team of the surgeon can observe that surgeon, what surgeon is seeing, and they can manipulate the robot arm. They can also do any kind of precision. So till now, whatever operation has happened through Da Vinci surgeries, there is 100% accuracy, there's 100% success rate. Okay, let us see this. So I'm going to show you the video of Apollo Hospital, how they are using Da Vinci surgery. Now, till now, I was talking to you about healthcare industry, how AI is helping in diagnosing, predicting, and also in treatment like surgeries and all. Apart from that, let's also discuss one of the field or where the AI is widely used, and that is agriculture. So I thought I will take this because we are a agriculture-oriented country, and our most of the people who stay in villages, 70% of those 60 to 70% population of India, they're involved in agriculture and farming. That's a major occupation of India. But this particular case, which I'm going to talk about, where how AI is used, is basically a case study from Europe, and how they have advanced to use AI to help them in coming out with something called precision agriculture. Okay, so as I was telling you that agriculture is the humanity oldest industry. like more than 200 years back, we started this. Agriculture 1.0 was the era of manual farming. Like we have industry 5.0 now. We have web 3.0, or you can say web 3 technology. Maybe we can discuss about that one day. Then we have the manual farming, which was assisted by the cow, horse. The farmer used to toil the farm physically and all those kind. Then industrialization happened, and came the era of agriculture 2.0, where the farming machines replaced the human labor. And we are currently into agriculture 3.0, where the terms like biotechnology, the farmer genetically modifying the seeds are something which are happening or evolving. The certain types of pest and how to deal with harsh weather conditions are basically predicted, and there are solutions which are devised using technology. So now what? Now is the AI is going to push us to a level which already Europe has reached, called the agriculture 4.0, which is also called the age of precision agriculture. Now, precision agriculture is the farm where we consider a particular funda or an idea. It is based on a particular principle which says that the farming is not homogeneous. That means that you need to understand the farming, what kind of farming in one particular land, what kind of pest, what kind of irrigations, and all these. And there can be a significant variation across the farm related to the various factors like soil condition, pest, seed, which get dropped on the soil from the plant and converted into weed growth, which becomes a big problem. You might have heard in the news in the Haryana, the wheat, when they burn the wheat, how it affects how it pollutes Delhi and all. So AI help in identifying all kind of micro conditions down to the level of a tiny area under the ground. And that kind of input, which is not possible for a farmer to get, that what is happening under the ground, which is a major area of a plant or a crop, where the root is there, and the root helps in absorption of water. The root can grow a weed also and can stop the growth of the plant. So what the farmers are doing with the help of AI now is that they are able to look into the input with the solutions, like even the IoT devices are used. Like they can get the input about the water, the chemical water level, the chemical level, the nutrient level, and how they can use this information to build a good quality crop. So AI technology such as computer vision is leveraging the data from IoT devices which are present. I'll show you how it works. And these technologies are now being deployed on the ground as well as on the sky also. So in the farming, we are using certain kind of sensors or maybe the IoT devices under the ground to measure something. And also we are using on the sky the drones, which do target pesticide spray or target irrigation. So there is a company, I'll take the example of a company. So this is what is precision agriculture. And the company name is John Deere. This you might have heard about. They make smart tractors and smart harvesters. They create that. So this particular company initially came out with a tractor with a camera. The camera to a tractor take a picture of everything which they can see underneath. AI trained to distinguish between a crop and a weed. That is a solution built in the tractor itself. So there is a camera which is there below the tractor, and it can take the picture of the ground level, and it can help in understanding, differentiating between crop and weed, which is manually not possible. It can also direct and automatic spray of herbicides on such weeds. So the smart harvesters in Europe are utilizing this digital camera. They are using the power of computer vision to analyze the image of grain, and they can also understand whether the grain is damaged or not. They can adjust their machines for any kind of a grain to come out to prevent the grain with some kind of a blemishes. So they're using the power of computer vision to train millions of images with higher level of accuracy. Now, the farmers in the Europe are embedding IoT's sensor into the soil. So this is how it is. So you can see that when you grow a plant, there is a possibility that you have a weed which will destroy the plant growth, which is very harmful. So the tractor has a camera which can differentiate which is weed, which is real plant, and can do the target spray of the herbicide to kill this weed. Second thing is the IoT sensor. This is the spray, the smart spray. This is the grain analyzing. How do you analyze the grain and find out that which grain is not properly going, which has blemishes, which is infected. So this is the kind of IoT sensors which are embedded, which can basically give an input about the moisture level, temperature, and the nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, all those nutrients which are necessary. Also, they are using on the sky the drones. And these agricultural drones are deployed with the GPS and the survey crop so that they can spray the pesticides or the fertilizers within the area of the farmer. It should not go and do the spray in the next farmer field. The GPS system is fitted into drone to identify that area, the restriction of the area. Then there are cameras which can be programmed to stay within the farmer's boundary and also to do a target spraying. Again, here the camera use the computer vision, analyze that condition of the crop at a micro level. So the farmers are doing intelligent farming now. They have also installed, if you can see, the drone is fitted with a tank and nozzle. And these nozzles are used for spraying fertilizers and pesticides. And it's an intelligent, it is not like one size fit for all. So the farmers, these drones can do target spray of the plants which are infected, not to all. So that's one thing which is happening in this. So there's a maximum potential of crop yield. And the AI technology, if it is deployed, it comes with a productive farming. And also it can solve the problem of global food production. Okay, so I'll show you a video on this.
When you start out in the spring, you work the soil and it just smells so fresh when you till it up, and it's just the greatest smell. When I started farming, there basically was no technology. Every tractor was driven manually, everything was done manually. You'd be planting, you had to follow a line. The sun was wrong, you would lose the line. Darkness, you couldn't see your marks. Moisture, couldn't see your mark. Then you'd get squiggly rows. My name is Doug Mims. I'm a farmer from Blue Earth, Minnesota. I'm a fourth generation farmer, and I raise approximately 2,000 acres of corn and soybeans. I really never thought I would see an autonomous tractor in my farming career. For me, it was really exciting the first time I got to take the autonomous tractor to the field, swipe my phone, watch the tractor start with no one in the kitchen.
So you can see this is an autonomous tractor. The farmer need not be there in the field. He can track and monitor and guide the tractor sitting at his home through app.
Start doing tillage, come to the end of the field, turn on the end, do the tillage just as well as I can do myself with no one in the cab. I can pull up the app, I can monitor the tractor, see how much of the field it's got tilled, I can check the fuel level, I can check the app to see how much of the field is left. If there was something in the field that it wasn't sure about, the tractor will stop and alert me. Is this something I can go around? Do I need to go out and remove an object from the field? The app gives me all this information so I can monitor everything very closely. On farms, labor is always a challenge. We need labor for lots and lots of hours for short periods of time. The auto steer and technology has helped reduce our labor load, which makes my life a lot easier. Autonomy will help because we will be able to put a tractor out in the field and let it run for 24 hours a day because it's not manned. But it also helps us with the weather because we can run so hard when soil conditions are fit. The thing that excites me the most about autonomy is not be locked in the tractor cab all day. It will just allow me to run my business better because I can just pay closer attention to other tasks. Now we'll be doing the jobs that we always wanted to get done, but never had time to because we were in the cab all the time. Farmers are fairly traditional, but I have a feeling that once they try it, they will become very accepting of it. I think the tractor can do a better job than I can do. Autonomy. It's going to be a life changer for me.
Okay, students, so let's go to the next case. So how are we able to utilize this? So this is again one of the technology, one of the company who was creating drones to spray, do the target spray. So I want you to see this also. So now, are we doing anything in India? Because we're talking about advanced country, developed country. So let me tell you, Indian government during 2021-22 has allocated the fund in the tune of 1,756 crores. And this was allocated to the state for introducing new technologies, including drones, artificial intelligence, blockchain, remote sensing, GIS, and agriculture. So the government has allocated this respectively from the advice given by Research and Development Institution, which is called IARI, in agriculture. And this particular, now there are a lot of companies, including Infosys and all, like in Andhra Pradesh, the Infosys has joined hand with the state government, and they are developing the solution to use AI deployment in agriculture field. So the Microsoft also has collaborated with this particular organization, ICRISAT, which I said is Indian Agriculture Research Institute, for undertaking research and development in agriculture. And they joined hand with them and they developed the AI-based system to help farmers in the state of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Telangana. So these companies, in collaboration with international or ICRISAT, has developed something called AI sowing app, which you can see here. Show you that. Okay, this is the other case. So this app, which you can see this here on the screen, this is called Cortana Intelligent Suite, and it's called Sowing app, which has a machine learning and Power BI built into it. It basically give an advice to the farmer that also it helps because this advice comes from installing a sensor in the field. So they help the farmers to install the sensor, which gets the input about the soil condition, the moisture level, the nutrient level, and all kinds of situations. So now the farmer, when they download this app, they are able to get the input about the soil condition, which the Microsoft app uses an AI to analyze those input which is received. And through this input, also there are certain kind of other satellite imageries, which is also sent to the farmers to make them predict the weather condition and all those kinds. So this app give a showing farming advisories to the farmers. They tell them the date or the time which is optimal for the seed sowing. They also receive the text messages about the weather condition. They also help the farmer in doing a testing, the soil testing. Okay. Then you might have heard about a company called Fasal. And this Fasal also have now acquired an AI startup company in the Indian farm called Autopilot. And they are working in Bangalore with 7-member team in R&D and AI and ML. I had the chance to meet them once in our college or university when they came. And they are also developing a solution where they can help the farmers in identifying the soil condition. And depending on the soil condition, they can give a guidance to the farmer that which particular soil is best for which crop. Not only this, they can help the farmers to do to allow them to do the testing of the soil, do the input, get the input about the nutrients present in the soil, the amount of moisture level present in the soil, everything. So this is the government project. And if you can see, this is one of the Indian person and the company belongs to him. His name only is Fazal, and he's joined that company. And he actually started this startup company with 7-member team. And he is doing this project with ICSRT, and where they have cameras, they have sensors, they have monitoring thing, and they're doing everything to help the farmers in these 3 states. Now, let's take one more example. I was talking about farming and agriculture. Let's talk about one more kind of farming, which is called aqua farming. That is aquaculture. Okay. So again, a group of graduates from Princeton College who were supposed to do a project during their last semester came out with a project, and ultimately that project became their company. And today that company is very successful. The name of the company is called Aquabite. And this company uses machine learning and computer vision to help the aquaculture industry. Until now, they have a revenue around $250 billion. And the key to the company success is the collaboration between machine learning engineers, marine biologists, and in Norway. They have applied this particular company is in Norway. And this company is helping the Norway salmon fish farmers, that aqua farmers. This fish farming, which is also as old as the other farming, now in Norway, which is known for the export and import of the best salmon fish, which is the most expensive fish in the world, in Norway. So these farmers have a very great and vast experience on managing the fish. Now, they use their own experience and expertise, which is passed to them from generation to generation. So Norway, most of these people do the salmon farming. And how they do the salmon farming basically is that, if you can see this circle, these circles in the sea is called pen, right? And this pen has a net which goes down in the net. And each pen with a diameter half and all like a football field can hold up to 2 lakh fishes. It looks small here, but it is more than that. And the farmer basically feed the fish. They basically make the fish healthy. They also try to understand when is the right time, when a particular salmon fish has grown to a particular weight and it is ready to be harvested. This is something which they basically do from the intuitions because they can't see under the water. They can't measure the fish, this thing. So Aquabite company came up with a solution. They use the power of data and machine learning to help this farmer answering all these kinds of problems intelligently. And also there should be something now, the buzzword in management is sustainability. So just like a similar technology, which I showed in the last slide to you about drones and autonomous tractor, this Aquabite AI rely completely on computer vision. So they use AI technology called ANN, which is artificial neural network, and also they use all kind of images which they get it from the camera, and which is an input or a data set. AI trained its AI model to build a expertise knowledge base of marine biologists. And this company keep on retraining the AI model with the data sets of the image of these fishes in the pen in all stages and the expertise knowledge of the marine biologist. Also, they included the factor like water condition, the particle in the water, and all these things they attribute, or all these combination of these factors they used to build an AI model which give accurate result. And what this accuracy was doing, let us see that, what it was doing. So basically, this AI solution model was used for analyzing those images which is caught by the camera, which is placed there. I'll show you this. And this was trying to tell the farmers about the fish biomass. That means the distribution of the fish in each pen by weight and volumes. This information helped the farmer deciding when to harvest the pen and project also revenue from the fish in the pen. So this data across all the pen also helped the farmer plan their sales cycle. And the second problem was sea lice. And this sea lice per fish, which impact or infect the fish and again hinder the growth of the fish, because fish may die because of the sea lice. So there is a regulation also in the Norway where by the regulation, the lice count can be reported to the government authority. And it should be kept below the certain level. So Aquabite machine learning technology, the farmers would go to each pen each week, catch 10 to 20 fish and count the lice manually. This was the process initial before they applied the technology. This was very labor intensive and it was also not very accurate because manually when you're counting. So the sea lice was causing stress and physical damage to this fish. So they needed a corrective action to identify the the accurate number of the sea lice for a particular fish and try to treat them. And it was also, and the fact is that 50% of salmon actually die because of this lice. So with the help of AI, they could accurately detect the number of lice and the farmer can address the issue. And the third thing which it did was panic detection. Panic detection means that the percentage of food or the feed which is dropped in this pen. Also, they also understand if the food is uneaten, that means the fish is already full and they should not give more food. So that's a Aquabite technology was using. They were using this thing. So 10%, this helped the farmers to reduce the 10% of feed wastage, which they were doing because initially they didn't know. Now, because of the uneaten food level or the amount which they can measure and they can understand the fishes, all the fish are full, they're not hungry and they don't feed it and waste it. So machine learning method called transfer learning was used by Aquabite to carry out all these kinds of tasks for the salmon fish. So I'm going to show you a video on this.
Cultural technologies have made farming much more productive, safe, and environmentally friendly. Innovative ideas and intriguing concepts. Here are 15 farming technologies that are next level. Number 15, Aquabite. Managing a large-scale fish farm is by no means an easy task. Thanks to the fact that thousands of fish are typically kept in one pen, it can often be hard to determine many of the specifics surrounding one's fishy assets. However, Aquabite is trying to fix this problem by offering fish farms a high-tech camera-powered system that can pick up on not only how many fish are in a pen, but also how many sea lice are present, how much fish are eating, and how large the fish in the pen currently are. Aquabite can use this information to suggest feed amounts based on fish size and activity. This is useful because it takes guessing out of fish feeding and allows the fish farmers to make more informed decisions on how much food to give their fish. This ultimately leads to less wasted food and greater profit margins for the fish farmers, thus making it an all-around win-win situation.
Okay. Now, okay, so now I'm going to stop here because I think it's too much for today. So if you have any question, please ask those questions. I'll open the session for question answers now. Yeah, students, you can write in the chat box. Sorry, I always say chat bot. Today I was teaching some student how to create chatbot using Python. Okay, students, what you can do is you can also suggest me that if you want to have a session on some other technology rather than AI, you know, yeah, I just logged out. So students, if you want, you can please write down. Otherwise, we'll end up the session here. Okay. Okay, what I'll do is tomorrow's session, I will be doing it on no-code AI, and we will learn some practical applications. I'll teach you through the application platform that how without coding you can use AI. Is that fine? Okay, nobody says anything here. Okay, then Arinakshi ma'am is there. I think she's on leave. So,
Yes, ma'am.
so I'm going to now end the session. Okay, students are also leaving. They're not also responding. So tomorrow again at the same time, I will start the session. Okay, sir.
Okay.